Good morning. Welcome to my crib. I'm obviously not at home. I didn't renovate that fast, guys. But I have been away for the night at the Ned in London with L'Oreal Professional, and it's been so nice. So, actually, why don't I give you a room tour? You come in here. Great, front door. Don't know why I'm telling you about that. A little bar section, a wardrobe. And you got a little bedside station, which is a mess. We'll leave the curated version of that on Instagram. The lovely bed that I've had to myself. The room service I ate in peace. Then another little like mirror station here. I've just done my hair here. This is just like the Dyson, the brush. I've just taken the actual handle off because I forgot to bring rollers with me. And then how stunning is this bathroom? I mean, I know I now live in a beautiful place, but it is a hot mess. So it has been so nice to just be in a place without boxes. How beautiful is that vanity? And then we've got like, I mean, we're a merit girl at the moment, double merit. And then, honestly, such a nice shower. It was great. And yeah, that's the room. I've just been like mooching around. We had a like a drinks party last night with L'Oreal. And yeah, now I'm just like hanging out and catching up this morning before I actually have another event I need to go to, which it's a very event heavy week. I'm gonna put you down so we can chat properly. Hold on. God, that's such a nice background. I feel overwhelmed by my own house at the moment. It's actually very nice to be somewhere else that is just an escape from the boxes. I knew that this was coming. I knew that there was going to be an avalanche of like work, meeting, like crunch time of the house stuff with work stuff, but like I am feeling very overwhelmed. I also think the Ken has been on paternity leave now for, I want to say 9 or 10 weeks. This is our last week we have until he goes back to full-time work. What I want to say about paternity leave is that it is probably him having an extended paternity leave, because I know it's not normal to have that much time with your child or a company allowing that, or, you know, that being part of your contract. But that time he has had with Mac is the biggest thing we could have done for equality in our relationship. We have a very even split of, you know, home tasks and, you know, admin tasks and all that kind of stuff. We were pretty good before we had him, but as soon as he arrived, like that divide just slided and it became a lot more on me. But as soon as he went on paternity leave, that shifted again. And I'm so grateful for that. But what I will say is it's making me very nervous about him going back to work. Not just because obviously once he's back at work, we have to have formal childcare, because I've been working, you know, I've been back at work for nearly, I don't even know how I describe how I've been working. It's like full-time some weeks, part-time other weeks. Anyway, once he goes back full-time, we have to get childcare, you know, like we have my mother-in-law helping one day, and then we have formal childcare on the other days, and I will have him some days, and I'm nervous about the admin of that juggle, and that it's just a slippery slope into me doing all the home things. And I think that's giving me a lot of anxiety. But anyway, to have this night away where I could just do something for myself. I mean, obviously this was work, you know, it's like, it's networking, it's a lot of making content. Like I filmed 2 videos in here, I need to film 2 more this morning, and then I'll head to my other event. But there's no distraction, right? There's no baby babbling in another room and I want to just go sit with him, or the Ken sending me a picture being like, he's standing up, or, you know, like I'm just focusing. He knows I'm here, and that's really refreshing. But I feel really guilty, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I think you're told you're going to feel really guilty when you start to have time away from your baby, so you expect it. And I'm having conversations with friends now. I'm like, do I feel guilty because I feel like I should be with my child? Or do I feel guilty because I was told I should be with my child? And I'm not sure which one it is, if I'm honest. Like last night, it was really nice. I just felt bad that I wasn't helping with bedtime and all that kind of stuff. But you don't need multiple people to do these things. Like, he's more than capable of doing it by himself. I just would like to be there, But today, I feel guilty, I think, because I'm supposed to feel guilty. It's very hard to differentiate. But this is a whole new territory of life, and I knew it was coming, but my God, it hits you like a ton of bricks. And I think people talk a lot about the mental load of being a new parent, and then it never goes away, right? It just, sometimes it's worse than others, and you get good at it and then something changes or whatever. I think the move has like tippled me over the edge. And I feel like I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning in this bed by myself. There's no baby to go see. There's no one crying. I could have just slept through, but I was just sitting there like ticking over my to-do list, and that's not healthy. I know that. I need to put in practices just to help me relax, and it's one thing at a time. But yeah, it's all just a lot, right? And I know I'm not alone in feeling like that, and these are all great problems to have, but they're still my problems. So yeah, all right. I have completely overdone my to-do list this morning. That's another problem I currently have. I add too many things that it's like unrealistic to achieve those things in a day, so then I never feel the satisfaction of like finishing the to-do list. So I'm just going to get started and see what is possible to do this morning. And yeah, I'll catch up with you later. Bye. Good morning. Somehow it's Sunday. I was supposed to recap on a bunch of things on Wednesday and then also on Friday, but obviously that didn't happen. I was feeling very overwhelmed, and what I normally do when I feel very overwhelmed is just power through and like go, but I am trying to just stop, take stock, make a plan and move on. So the plan is now, instead of catching up as I went, we're just going to recap all today. So thanks for bearing with me, even though you had no idea that this vlog was going to be something different. Now you know. So yeah, anyway, welcome to my ensuite. It's quite nice. I'm not sure how I feel about these tiles. I thought they were quite pink originally, but I think they're a bit grey. We don't want millennial grey in this house, but that's what we're working with. So it'll be interesting to see what these look like to you on a wider screen. Anyway, I digressed. I have got absolutely nothing on my skin, and it's like, feels like that pinched feeling, that's like that dry sensation after you cleanse. So I want to put on some skincare that I got earlier this week from Naturium. I have only tried their body washes, which I think are fine. Like, a body wash is a body wash to me. Sorry, some just smell nicer. Some have actives in them, but with my skin, honestly, nothing really helps the chronic keratosis pilaris unless it's like a medical grade something. So anyway, this brand, Naturium, which you may or may not have heard of, is founded by Susan Yara, who originally was like a skin influencer. The interesting thing to me, anyway, about her, there are many interesting things about her, is that she also has 2 children. I said also, like I also have children, 2 children. She has children, like she is a mum. And I was chatting to her about postpartum skin and how much of a nightmare it can be. I kind of said to her, my skin just will not retain moisture like it used to. Like I'm trying a bunch of different things, which obviously is also part of the problem. You should be very consistent with your skincare. But ever since I got back from Australia, I just I had a really bad week of rosacea, which I haven't had for a while. And then ever since then, it's just been so dry. I'm just like scared to do anything to it. So I know I need to kind of strip it back to start again. And obviously she recommended this, but she said that this multi-peptide range, which is their new, I think the rich cream is the new product in the range, but the entire range should be quite good for just a bit of a reset for me. So, this is literally my first impression of it. This was the serum. It feels like, it does have a scent, which I think is interesting. It's hard to tell whether that's actually that might be the Bum Bum cream that's already on my hands. Having a really luxurious day. That Bum Bum cream only comes out for special occasions. Today, the special occasion is that I survived the week. So I don't think it really has a scent, but it feels really light and has instantly gotten rid of that kind of snatched dry feeling I get from cleansing. And I'm not even using a crazy cleanser. I just use what am I using? The Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser. So nothing wild. The best thing to me that happened at this event was that I was sat next to a very successful fashion influencer, and she was like, I would buy this product, this range, everything. I would buy everything if I didn't get sent so many like luxurious different brands. I was like, that's the shit we want to know. Like what would you actually spend your money on? Because I think it's like quite well priced for the levels of actives in it. So this is the Rich Cream, which is the new launch. So I'll obviously put that on tonight. But during the day, they have a lighter one. And I think this is kind of a viral product. You've probably seen it before. Apparently it layers incredibly well with makeup. The thing with moisturizers and makeup for me is that I wear SPF all day, every day, year round. Probably because I'm Australian, but also just because I don't want sun damage. So it doesn't really matter if this product layers really well with makeup, because I'm going to put something on between the moisturizer and the makeup, you know what I mean? Unless I guess I'm going out at night, which doesn't happen very often. If I go out at night, I don't wear SPF. But it feels really nice. It feels like it probably has a bit of grip, which is probably why people like layering their makeup with it. But anyway, I'm going to be as consistent as I possibly can with the entire range. What I really liked about Susan Yara was she was really honest. She did a bit of a talk at the start of the event for everyone about how the reality is, in order to see results in your skincare, you have to use it consistently for 6 months. You can't just buy the product, use it for a month, and then be like, didn't do anything. You have to invest the time and the money. So, if you want to use a 100-pound night cream, you have to buy that every month for 6 months. That's a serious investment of money. Whereas, actually, how much is this? Let's Google it. Okay, so the serum is 27 pounds. The Rich Cream is also 27 pounds, and the moisturizer is 21 pounds. So I would pay that price. That is not on the lowest end of the, I guess, skincare price bracket, but I think you do get what you pay for. So we'll report back. They also do have an eye cream. So what I'm probably going to do is at night, I'm going to use the eye cream, the Rich Cream, and the serum. Then during the day, I'm going to use just the moisturizer because I like a vitamin C. This does have some vitamin C. I'm saying vitamin like I'm English. Vitamin C in it, but I like a lot of vitamin C. I like the Real Glow. So I'll probably do a vitamin C before I put this on, then this, then an SPF. And then at night, I'm just going to use these three. And then once a week, I am going to still use a tretinoin. It's a prescription retinol, which I was chatting to Susan about. Postpartum, I am finding it's just irritating my skin. I spoke to a dermatologist and she was like, you've just got to power through. You could microdose it by applying it an hour a day, and then wait a couple of days and then do another hour. And I was like, I don't have time to like put it on and wash it off. Like, face masks are a nice idea, but for me, not something I can like regularly do. So I am going to power through with a tretinoin once a week overnight and see what happens. Susan Yara, however, was like, I agree with the microdosing of retinols postpartum if you're struggling with sensitive skin. However, she was like, I wouldn't go in with a tret. It's just something that probably your skin is never going to agree with again. And I was like, cool, I just got a full new script. So we're going to persevere. Doesn't sound like it's going to be great, but we're going to try. But if not, I think I will probably try, I've been dying to try the Medicate retinol, or I'll try the Naturium one. Anyway, that was a lot of chit chat. I'm going to put some makeup on and then we'll get dressed. I think then we'll go for a walk. And yeah, I thought I'd just chat with you whilst I do that. We can recap all the things I didn't film during the week. So see you when I got clothes on. Always resisting the urge to tuck. You can't even see. Just wearing jeans. I was just working out what to wear today, to be honest. The wardrobe situation is still such a mess that like I don't know what to wear. In Australia, I put together like a bit of a capsule of stuff, and because it was so thought out, it was just such a nice break to like have an edit to pull from every day, and that's something I wanted to kind of do again here. I just don't have time, so I've just grabbed what looked clean and didn't need a press, to be honest. I haven't worn this jumper in ages either. I was just a bit worried that, oh, you can't. Okay, I was worried you could see the stripes through the red. Can you? I mean, you probably kind of can, but not in a like, it's not bad. You can tell the floor's still really messy, right? Like it's a tip in here. Speaking of hot mess, so I have these cupboards, right? You can just tell things are shoved in there. And I was filming an ad this week, so I organized this one really well, and it's like in a really good place. So I've got like my shirts and blazers that I wear all the time, and I use that as the backdrop, and that was like very satisfying and cathartic. And you can just tell how, you know, it's like everything's like merged, like everything's evenly spaced. If you've ever worked in retail, you know that you like separate everything by like a finger space, right? Well, I can't hold the camera and do it, but like that's how you merge your rails and you get it all really even. Whereas in here, for the time being, I just shoved everything I didn't know what to do with. And yeah, we're gonna have to sort that out later, but like that is a later problem. Okay, last thing before I go get the buggy ready. I was just thinking about this outfit, and you might have seen in some of the footage that I inserted, you know, my little roundup. I went to an Amazon event, which was hosted by Zeena, like Heart Zeena is her Instagram handle, and it was hosted by her and Kate Harrison, who's a color stylist. And she did my colors for me, which I think is something fundamentally I kind of disagree, because I don't think rules should be so hard and fast like that. And she was like, oh, your cool toned colors suit you better. And I was like, do they? I wear a lot of warm colors and I think they suit me just fine. I need to sort this out. But the interesting thing about all that stuff with her, oh my God, look, I just instinctively tucked it in. Okay, I guess that's what we're doing. She also reads auras and does like color readings of auras. And she described my aura as yellow, which I was like, isn't that a warm color? And she was like, kind of the point, that rules are made to be broken and it's not always about what suits you visually, it's what suits your personality. And I was like, kind of like that more. I feel like I need to dive a little bit deeper into that. And I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. I need to go. Actually, there was one more thing I wanted to mention whilst I was in here, and that was last week I sat in front of this painting, and a couple of you were like, wanted to know more about it and where it's from. I bought it at Ardingly, which is a antiques fair in the south of England. What I love the most about it, apart from the fact that, you know, it's got like, you can kind of see it's an artist setup, right? But it's also kind of a dressing table. I like that juxtaposition, because if you saw the hot mess that was behind me, I have always had my desk and kind of getting ready makeup situation in the same place. And I like all my tools, whether that be the beauty tools or like my drawing or writing tools, to be together. It feels like more of a real desk, I guess. More of a, you know, it's like my workstation. Anyway, I digress. This is the artist herself, and it's actually a self-portrait, which I thought was really clever. Her name, you can still see the lot number on the frame. It was number 35 in an auction when it was first painted, and her name is Hazel, actually can you see that? Hazel Dunlop. On the back, and actually this is the original frame from the auction. I've never reframed it. Obviously I didn't buy it when it first went to auction. I bought it off this guy who actually collected some of her pieces by chance. He kind of stumbled on them, which I kind of like the chance encounter or something like an antiques fair. Like my path would never have crossed with him had it not been, you know, I just happened to be there at the same time as him. So the painting is called My Wig and I. It was originally painted at Hurst Lodge, Storrington in Sussex, and it's an oil painting. It does have the price in pounds originally, but I kind of can't really see it. I think I paid £320 for it, which for an oil painting of this size, I thought was an incredibly good price, apart from the fact that I love the painting. Yeah, as it is. So yeah, I want to hang it somewhere in here, and I kind of want to use the colors that are in this and the colors that are in that mirror, that metal flower mirror there, as the color palette for this room. What are you doing, mister? Who's that? You want to film the cat? Say hello. Bye. Oh my god, trying to get out of the house is like impossible. Okay, we ready?
Always.
You ready for our walk, mister?
Cuckoo.
Say cuckoo.
Bye-bye.
I made a coffee for this walk, but honestly, it tastes terrible. Like, it tastes like Starbucks. I think maybe we need a new machine. Hello. Hey, Mr. Mac. Yeah? Say hello. Hi, everyone. Are your ears a bit cold? It's freezing. Am I too far away? Okay, we're gonna come back. Oh my god. Second nap has commenced, hence being able to sit here with a cup of tea. Ken was going to go to the gym, but actually has just gone to sleep. And do you know what? I feel a lot better. I feel like we've got so much done today that actually has set me up for hopefully what will be a really good week. And actually, oh, it's hot. And actually, I don't think we've had a proper like Sunday reset for a really long time. And that's probably been part of my stress. Like, we just haven't had any downtime to set ourselves up for success. I think, so today's actually the last day of the Ken's paternity leave. He goes back to work tomorrow, which in retrospect, I was feeling stressed about the juggle. And when I say the juggle, I mean just like managing different childcare. Obviously, having had him on paternity leave for so long, I haven't had to think about it. Like, he's just available all the time. You know, he also is someone who never gets sick. So not that he's calling in sick to me, you know what I mean? But if Mac is going to a nursery or whatever, there's, you know, if he's sick, they're sick, whatever. There's just the logistics of that I hate. And I'm not looking forward to that, but that's just going to be part of life. And I think I was nervous about that, but I also think I was nervous, I am nervous about, is nervous the right word? Maybe the reality that once his paternity leave ends, Mac is nearly a year old, and in a way it's the end of our maternity paternity leave. I have been working for most of my maternity leave, but I very much still had days off work, but I could just be a mum. And moving forward, you know, I'm back to work basically full time from now. And so I'm not going to just get those days. And I think I'm sad about it. Which I guess everyone must feel when they go back to work full time. Just because I've always kept my foot in the door in some way or another. I've been juggling this the whole time. Like the juggle struggle for me is maybe a bit different to other people's or to yours, or who, I don't know whether you have kids or not. And I think people feel like they're juggling a lot of different things anyway, regardless of whether they have kids. But it's like the new normal. I feel like my entire being pregnant, going on maternity leave experience is not that dissimilar to COVID, because I kind of had to bubble down when I was pregnant because I was so sick. And then when I had him, you bubble down anyway. And then it's like when you try and re-enter society, it's like coming out of lockdown all over again. I don't know. I've just been spending a lot of time thinking about COVID, and these two experiences seem kind of similar in some ways. Obviously not in other ways. Anyway, we've just spent the afternoon doing all these things we just haven't really gotten the habit of doing again. Like we did an Ocado order. We did an IKEA order for a bunch of different storage solutions we need for the house. We just did some batch cooking. Like by cooking, I mean I made us overnight oats and chia seed puddings for all of us for breakfast for during the week. We're about to do some actual batch cooking for Mac. Just all those Sunday things that, you know, you neglect once you get out of habit or out of practice. It's actually quite nice to stand up and do, you know, just get done. So that's what I've been doing this afternoon. So although I'm a bit weird about this week, I guess it's the first run of our new normal, I feel a bit more prepared now, a bit more organised. I was saying to someone during this week, I actually thrive in chaos. I'm someone who, like, I don't really need routine. I kind of am better when I'm all over the place. But the reality of having a family is like, that is not going to fly anymore. We're going to have to get it together. The Ken needs routine, loves routine. Children love routine. So I think I'm going to have to make space for this, and I'm going to have to lean into it. And today was nice. I do feel a bit better for doing it. So that's good. As a bit of a reward for what was a very crazy week, I actually am about to go have a massage just to finish the week on a high and hopefully set me up for a good week. And just leaning into the new routine. So I guess this is the part of the video where I say like, comment, subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. But honestly, comment, because your comments are so lovely and interesting and thoughtful, and I love chatting to you all. So I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you soon.